What's up, everybody? It's your boy Showtimedr. So we got the patch notes for Elune. They're translated here, so I will do my best, because even when you translate, there's going to be some lost in translation stuff. So here we go. Greetings, Elunes. It's been 2 weeks since Elune launched in global server. Elune was able to improve within a short period of time thanks to players' love for Elune. We want to thank all players who are loving Elune. We will try our best to make Elune even more enjoyable. Today we want to discuss the first regular balance patch regarding Elune balances. Elunes are the characters' nicknames, pretty much, and skill. We are planning on bringing this balance patch along with update next week after reviewing player feedback. We tried our best to write a comprehensive balance patch based on feedback that players submitted. Following changes will be made with this balance patch. So Boulder, for those who don't know, really good single target DPS. Purpose. We concluded that he is not fully performing as a legendary single-target DPS. Therefore, we are significantly improving some of his skills for him to fit the legendary category. I like hearing that. Because he was definitely one of the best single-target deeps, but there were people that could out-DPS him that were epic. So hopefully now he'll reclaim his title, because when you're legendary, you know, you should be freaking legendary. That's what I always believe. But anyways. Let's see here the differences. Physical damage to a single enemy, plus increased damage based on number of blaze on enemy. Instantly use the skill on a random enemy when defeating an enemy in blaze status. Oh wow. So he's going to use his ultimate twice if he kills the first person. Does not use skill resource and activates only once. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Reason for changes. Currently there is an additional effect, is not only difficult to activate, but also underwhelming. We're trying to make Boulder's ultimate far more useful with the changes above, so that's a cool change. His second flame armor. After, reduce damage received from enemies affected with blaze. Place blaze status on attackers when hit. Well, you could probably run him as a tank then. Depends on the reduction, I'd have to see. Of course, he's always going to be a DPS, but a lot of people, when they get to end game, they actually ditch their tanks. And they just put a bunch of health on one person and have them stand up front. Adds additional effect to fit the concept of flame armor. Passive 3, Flame Jargon Incarnate. Let's see, increase crit rate by 20 against enemies affected by blaze. When an attack lands as a crit on an enemy affected by blaze, sets off flames to deal additional soul damage. Does not remove blaze anymore. So that's cool. I used to consume blaze, now blaze stays on, which is basically how his whole kit works up here. You see the numerous references to blaze, blaze, blaze everywhere. It looks like he's getting fat. Now, McCarthy, he's been the running joke of the game. Wasn't nearly as useful, especially as a legendary status. Probably he was the Marduk of this universe before Marduk became, you know, or the Ken of this universe if you play Epic 7 before Ken got an improvement. Alright, purpose. Improved his performance as a debuffer class. Let's see here. After, physical damage to all enemies, plus probably 50%. Increased damage received. And reduce damage dealt on enemies with weakening effects, stacks up to twice. So he lost his stun, it looks like, unless they meant it to be there, not sure. I'll have to see about that. Make activation of debuffs easier to improve his performance as a debuff class. So increase damage received and reduce damage dealt. I noticed that they might be nerfing the AoE stunners because in PvP it's actually really freaking strong. Imagine, stun in this game, basically, when you get stunned, you get auto-critted every time someone hits you, as long as you're stunned, and the stun can last like 3 turns. Don't know about the AoE skills, but that's what I've seen on the single-target DPS. Alright, Ultimate, Heaven's Outlaw. Physical damage all enemies, stun enemies with weakening effect. It used to be reduce physical and magic defense of enemies, and healing receive. Reason for changes, expected outcome, whatever that means. You know, it kind of adds the stun back because he lost the stun up here. So in effect, it's kind of switched back and forth what these two used to do. Kind of interesting. And then his third passive, Resolve of the Deceased. After receiving a killing blow, McCarthy will be revived with 1 HP and be immune to damage and status effects for 2 turns that are taken consecutively before finally dying. Reduce soul consumption by 2 during consecutive turns. So basically, he's going to get up and use all his abilities. Not sure if they're going to be cooled down. It doesn't look like it. Kind of similar to something, you know, other characters do in other games. like Marion Knight's Chronicle, and I forget his name, the fire dude in Epic 7. Reason for changes. By adding soul consumption reduction, we want to increase McCarthy's usage of high soul skills to fit his character concept that holds grudge. I'm done. Alright, Catherine. Catherine's one of the craziest characters in the game right now, so let's see how she's being dealt with. Purpose. We wanted to improve her performance as enemy buff stealer that we initially designed her to be. Let's see here. Special aggressive donation. Magic damage to enemy plus heal based on damage dealt plus steal 1, maximum 2 buffs. And now it basically does that, but it's a double when crit. So what's that mean? Steal 4 buffs then? Or 2 to 4 buffs? Change Catherine to be more powerful and more useful soul stealer. Okay, so she's going crazy with the buff stealing. Ultimate, sultry seduction. Magic damage all enemies, plus steal 1, maximum 2 buffs. Additional damage based on number of buffs stolen. And it's an AoE, so that could actually get pretty nasty. With additional damage based on number of buffs stolen, Catherine is now capable of doing significant damage against support team. Yeah. That is actually pretty cool, because that's the thing that really annoys me in a lot of PvP in gacha games is, you know, people just stack supports and a tank and maybe 1 DPS, and they're just impossible to kill unless you have a certain combo. So it looks like Catherine's going to be the answer to that in this game. Pretty cool. Fatal Syringe, still 1 random buff upon landing an attack. Yeah, so they really went gung-ho on the buff stealing here. Passive 3, Tainted Needle, inflicts a despair on an enemy for 2 turns who had 2 or more buffs stolen. Despair is another debuff. I forget exactly what it does. I can go look it up real quick. Or can I? We'll see. Okay, well, I'll do my best to look it up while I read this. Let's see here. Here she comes. Y'all wondering, that's Mikazuki. She does lots of debuffs, so it's easier to get to the debuff page by looking at her. Alright, so it is... what was the debuff name? Despair. Unable to receive any buffs. So in a way that kind of nerfs her, but it also buffs your team, so... not a terrible thing. Alright, Weiwei. So Weiwei is something that's being met with a bit of controversy just because she's the free-to-play unit, and as we know, throughout a lot of recent gachas, the free-to-play units always get nerfed. I'm gonna see how deep the nerf is, because I don't have her myself, so I can't do this, but this is something that's it's funny when you read this, so. Purpose, Weiwei. We tried to resolve excessively monotonous and fast battles due to excessive soul supply. So souls in this game basically enable you to use your 2 skill and your 3 skill, which is your ultimate skill. So that's the dev being kind of trolly. Probably not intentionally, but you know, he's saying that this character just helps you get souls too fast. But you know, like, it's monotonous to win so much. Like, what was that thing, you know? I hate winning, or whatever the hell. So... Passive 3, Quench Thirst. Before, while Weiwei is alive, gain 3 soul immediately if there is less than 2 soul upon receiving a turn. Now it's going to be 2 soul immediately if there's less than 2 soul upon receiving a turn. That's not that bad a nerf. Reason for change. We have resolved the issue where Weiwei provides excessive soul in the beginning of the turn and bring about a more strategic battle. AKA, they nerfed it by 1 soul. Not a terrible thing, it actually is pretty damn powerful. For those who don't know, at the beginning of most battles, you start with 5 souls. Most ultimates need 6 souls to activate. So unless there's a set bonus that could help you with that after I think it's an odd turn. So on turn 2, you have 6 souls, your second person can ult. Weiwei, if she was really fast, she could give you 3 souls right off. Now it's going to be 2 souls. It's not horrible. It's not a horrible patch or a horrible nerf, so... as long as everything else is untouched, she's still really freaking strong, so... We will miss that extra soul, though, especially considering I don't even have her yet. I'm 64 of 100 on the quest. Here we go now. So we are going to get to... Oh, it's gear sets now. Okay. By activating the set effect related to surviving faster, we want to increase early game survival. So let's see here. Oh, this is the set that generates barriers and evasion rate. Odd number turn means that's going to activate turn 1 rather than turn 2, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's overall a buff. Corrupt Elune here. By adjusting the soul regeneration and attack buff activation timing, we wanted to bring about more strategic battles. I think that means nerf. Let's see. Obtain 1 soul at the end of every even number turn, so there you go. So basically turn 2 versus turn 1 on the attack buff and the soul. So they're nerfing soul generation. Which, you know, it's equivalent to when Epic 7 nerfed combat readiness. As we mentioned before, we take Elune balance and skill very seriously, as we believe these two are the very core of Elune's gameplay. Therefore, we are looking forward to see active discussion among the community, along with potential feedback. Please feel free to leave any feedback about the first scheduled patch. Balance patch will arrive next week. We will share more details of the schedule with the community in the future. Thank you, CM Marcus. That was posted a little earlier today. That's actually a pretty good update overall. Most stuff's getting buffed. The few nerfs that there are, it's basically soul generation, which is actually very strong, so I got no issue with them nerfing it a little bit. So yeah, that's my basic review of the patch. I really like the way that they format their patches, by the way. Not only do they tell you what's coming down, and granted this is a translation, so some things, like I said, are lost, but they're telling us what they're trying to do, which is really cool. And then we can hopefully give feedback and they'll listen to it and be like, oh, well, maybe there's a better way to do it, or maybe you should consider this, that type of thing. I actually really like that. Plus, they're buffing most of the things right now. So I'm actually really cool with this. So if you play Elune, let me know what your thoughts are on this patch. Actually, it's a pretty damn good patch, in my opinion. And that is going to be it for me, guys. So, yo, if you've never met me before, I'm Showtimedr, Showtimedr. This is my YouTube. If you feel like you enjoyed the video, you can hit like and subscribe. Also, check out the title info, show more, link to my Discord, link to my Twitch. You should know what those are all about by now. And that is it for me, guys. So I'll see you guys later on. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Peace.